Hi, my name is Jackson Rhymes, and welcome to the sixth episode of the DFS Student Podcast. I would like to introduce our guests, Isra and Anthony. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello everyone. My name is Isra. This is my first semester as a Dallas Film School student, and I've really enjoyed working here with my fellow
Yeah, um,
classmates.
I'm Anthony Stanley. I've been on a few episodes, so I've probably introduced myself enough times by now, but I'm a student here at DFS as well. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and glad to be on here today.
All right, well, today, um, our goal is to talk about Whiplash and La La Land and the parallels between both of the films. Both films were written and directed by Damien Chazelle. And Isra, would you like to start us off with the
Yeah, of
first?
course. I would love to start off with just like the overall plots of both movies. La La Land is a musical that highlights the relationship between Sebastian and Mia. Sebastian is an aspiring jazz club owner, and Mia is an aspiring actress, and it kind of takes us through the plot of their relationship, what they're aspiring to do, what they're aspiring to be. And would you like to give a
Yeah,
quick overview of Whiplash?
so Whiplash is an earlier film by Damien Chazelle, same writer director, and it's almost interestingly enough a mirror image to La La
Yeah.
Land, where it's interrogating similar themes about ambition, sacrifice in the name of your art. It follows Andrew. He's a college student who's desperately attempting to be the next great drummer, the next great icon in the music field, and he's enrolled under this demanding teacher named Terrence Fletcher, played brilliantly by J.K. Simmons, who maybe shows him that he's going to have to sacrifice a bit more than his personal free time in order to truly be great. So it's a very twisted relationship from there.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like that does, like, immediately after you guys said the plot, that brings up kind of the first similarity, which is the plot. Both, in different ways, are kind of uh, talking about chasing your dreams and chasing, your own definition of, like, perfection. For one of the main characters of La La Land, Sebastian, it's about opening his own jazz club and performing all the music how he wants to do it. While with Andrew, it's about being one of the best drummers in the world. Very
Right.
similar uh, realms in terms of their goals. And Mia would like to be a famous actor or
Of course.
actress. Um, and she also like strives for perfection, getting a role, and going through all of the standard things and a young actress in Hollywood would have to like go through.
Right.
Yeah, and even like I think like we're talking about the similarities of the movies, and
Yeah.
like the biggest thing that he did directing the both of these movies is I feel like he reflected how the people in your life affect the outcomes of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not just your own
Yeah,
personal
yeah.
actions, but even the influences that other people have on you. Like me and Sebastian's relationship was very much it was fleeting, but at the same time they had a understanding of each other,
Hmm.
and the the relationship between them is a very stark contrast to Andrew and the people in his life,
Of course.
his teacher Fletcher, his father, his girlfriend at the time, and I think that like a
Yeah.
lot of those
I
things
think
were
both
important.
of them very much are about, in a way, this might sound a little
Mm.
weird because
Hmm.
one of them is about a loving relationship and one of them is certainly not about that. It's
Yeah.
about a abusive teacher student relationship.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think at the same time both of them are also about guidance. I would call
Mm.
Hmm.
Mia the protagonist of La La Land, even
Mm.
if it follows
Oh,
both her and
definitely.
Sebastian at the start.
Hmm.
Throughout the story, it really is about her principal struggle to stand out as an actress, to find her own
Absolutely.
identity as an actress.
Yeah.
It's culminating in her writing a one-person play, which is
Yeah.
largely based off her own feelings and thoughts. And it is Sebastian who is able to convince her to perform it after all.
Hmm.
But because of that, she gets another opportunity for like a larger studio project,
Hmm.
um, and it's there that like they both recognize the cracks in their relationship. They recognize that they're going in different directions, and that's what causes them to both break up, but also achieve their dreams by breaking up.
Yeah.
Or just to add on to
Yeah.
that is Fletcher. I mean, we're talking about Mia as a protagonist, right? And
Sure.
Andrew was, the protagonist of Whiplash. But even like going to Fletcher, like his harshness on his students, like what was that compensating
Yeah.
for? It was compensating for his fear of falling off the top, right? And he refused to allow anyone to be quote unquote better than him, right? Because
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
like his ego was high up off the roof, and the beginning you would be like, oh yeah, he's just one of those teachers that just want the best for the students. He just wants to push them, to their limits so they can, unlock the best version of themselves. But as you progress through the movie, you see that he's actually just egotistical. He's just selfish.
Yeah.
And the contrast to what you just said about Mia and Sebastian is like, well, when you have two people who just want nothing but the best for each other, the outcomes may not always be like perfect, but the love for that they have for each other and for their art has a better outcome than someone who's thinking solely about themselves, solely about their passion. And yeah, I think that was just like a great
Yeah.
connection. That
Both movies
there.
definitely make more formal choices, like more of a heightened reality than a traditional like realistic
Yeah.
setting. But there is
Yeah.
a certain truth to the ending of both of them.
Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
definitely.
Whereas like, you're gonna lose stuff in life either way. Like by moving forward, you're automatically gonna have to leave some stuff behind. But I think, as we can see in Whiplash, evident by like a final shot near the end where Andrew has fully devoted himself to outperforming Terrence at a concert Terrence Fletcher, that was set up to humiliate him in front of everyone. We can see in his dad's eyes, who's trying to reach him but isn't allowed on stage, that he just doesn't recognize him anymore. Like he can see that he's getting lost because of his obsession with being great, because of his obsession to first earn Fletcher's respect and then beat Fletcher.
Yeah.
And I think we can see the opposite ending, which is just as truthful in La La Land, where
Yeah.
Mia and Sebastian meet each other again after years. They're both successful. They're both happy, and they still won't have each other, but
Yeah.
they haven't lost themselves, and that's the key difference.
Yeah.
I think love really is the
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
cheesy as it
exactly.
sounds. Love is the difference between La La Land and Whiplash. It's showing two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Because one is 100% focused on
Yeah,
kind of breaking down, while the other one is a lot more like building
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
with both relationships between Fletcher and Andrew and Mia and Sebastian. They also, I think, follow similar arcs where a lot of them is like they're slowly like building up. They're like kind of like pushing through, but not really. Then there's like
Right.
a falling point with both of them. For Mia, nobody shows up to her play that she's like self-produced, not even her like boyfriend Sebastian. And Sebastian's unhappy. He's on this tour and everything.
Right.
With Fletcher, he kicks Andrew out of the band. He's done. He kind of has nowhere to go,
It's true. Yeah.
and he results to doing the right decision, which is getting Fletcher fired. And then they both build back up again. Mia ends up finding out that somebody, like a casting agent, was in the crowd and
Right.
then wanted her to work on her newest film. And Andrew ends up blowing everything out of the water, playing at the very end of Whiplash.
Even like we've been talking about the plot, and like the plot itself alone is beautiful, but what really ties it all together is the color and the musical
Right.
the musical aspects of these films. And I guess like what a lot of people may not realize after their first watch is like how impactful the colors are in that film, because I remember my first time watching that, I was like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. Like the
Well, in
colors,
both.
Yeah.
the colors, the music, it's all beautiful, but like it never really clicked in my head that they all mean something until my second watch, and I was like,
Right.
oh, like this is like actually like something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's evident in a lot of stories, but I
Yeah.
think Damien Chazelle uses it pretty brilliantly.
Yeah.
Again, as inverses of the other, you can see honestly a lot of secondary colors used in Whiplash. A lot of greens, oranges, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's all very bright, oppressive. It's casting our casting our subjects in the same
Yeah.
color temperature, same light
Yeah,
as the rest of the frame.
Exactly.
They almost become indistinguishable from the environment around them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like in La La Land, I think it's going for more of a classic Hollywood look, where
Technicolor.
yeah,
Yeah.
Technicolor
Yeah.
look. You have a lot of very vibrant blues and yellows representing Hollywood, representing like the dream, especially during
Mm-hmm.
the got that incredible one take
Mm-hmm.
right at the end of Act One of La La Land, where me and
Yeah.
Sebastian start to finally fall for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's, again, I hate to repeat myself there, mirror images of the other.
Yeah.
One is obsession to the point of losing yourself. One is obsession that's formed and encouraged by love to
Yeah.
channel into a healthy avenue for
Mhm.
your future,
Uh-huh.
right?
And also I think while Whiplash, most of it is secondary colors, like you said, there's a lot of oranges, there's a lot
Yeah.
of browns, there's a lot of greens. Um, it also uses primary colors sparingly to create
true.
some disorientation. When one of Andrew's replacements come in, it's this guy in this all red shirt. He's seen as a
Oh.
threat to
Mhm.
Andrew. This is like signified. He's the only guy in the entire band wearing just like a bright red shirt, and you instantly know that this guy is also a like direct threat to Andrew's mindset right now.
Yep.
He is blocking the way of Andrew's strive for perfection.
Yeah, even like imagine like a bull and their flag, right? Like
Mhm.
Andrew
Exactly.
wants to destroy this guy, you know.
Yeah.
And then we come to the topic of like the musical soundtracks. Like obviously La La Land soundtrack is iconic, but
Yeah.
the placement that it takes within the movie is just like, I don't know, just phenomenal. Even the dancing scene between them when she's in her yellow dress is like,
Mhm.
and like I don't remember if there was a dolly zoom or not, but there was some sort of zoom in from the background of
Yeah, yeah.
when they're dancing, and like that's when the music started playing, I think.
Mhm.
And that's when it was like, okay, like
Yeah, it's a lot of like that, like sweeping, like big band kind of music
exactly,
that you would
Yeah.
find in a lot of earlier musicals, like very
exactly.
much, Hello Dolly, all of that kind of thing. But it brings modern lyrics to it,
Mhm.
talking about, someone in the crowd is really talking about like sleeping
Phenomenal.
your way through Hollywood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which absolutely isn't something you would find in one of those like old ragtag musicals, but because um, it's kind of portrayed with all of this like grandiosity.
Yeah.
There's like that Hollywood has it really, shows you.
Cleverly placed
Yeah,
satire, yeah.
it shows you exactly what the film is about
Yeah.
without spelling it out to you in big red letters, which I think is great.
Or even what surprised me about that film is like a lot of people are like anti-musical, right? Like that was my mindset going into that, but
Ooh,
like
really?
Mhm.
yeah, I know, like it was just my
I love
mindset. I was like,
musicals.
I hate musicals. Oh my god, like I'm not trying to watch like this generic looking
Okay.
movie. But then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is like
Yeah.
this is different. But like what I guess my question is, or like what I thought after that was like, what made this so different from the others? And yeah, like
I think it's I don't know if it's necessarily
Mhm.
different from classic Hollywood musicals. I think it's just envisioning a future where they didn't die out.
Yeah.
I
No,
miss them so, I
absolutely.
miss Hollywood
Oh,
big Hollywood
definitely.
musicals so much.
There should be an
Yeah.
avenue for those kind. There should be an avenue for
Yeah.
silent films and all of that
Yeah.
kind of
You
stuff.
I
can't tell
agree.
me that
Yeah.
people wouldn't go to see a version of The Music Man in theaters today, because I would. I'd go see
Yeah.
a version of The Music Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
but I think both films, like we said, share a lot of these similarities, but bring you to a really great whole product that
Yes.
like sits with you for a while. And I think that their messages end up resonating with you
Mhm.
for a long time to come. All right, well, I think that just about wraps this conversation up. I'll be looking forward to the next episode, and goodbye.